Seeker. It is Friday, August 1st, 2025, and want to run over some of the headlines. Again, want to share something additional about the Justin Timberlake Lyme disease announcement. Didn't realize that he was born the same year the disease was discovered. We'll touch more on that. What's buzzing in the U.S. tonight is that Trump has deployed 2 nuclear submarines to Russia as a threat tactic. And yesterday, him and Medvedev, the former leader of Russia, were beefing on social media. Medvedev said, "Do you remember that show, The Walking Dead?" I found that funny because I'm like, I'm finally getting caught up on that show, and now we got world leaders referencing it. And of course, if you haven't seen The Walking Dead, it's about an apocalyptic world. So we'll talk about Trump deploying the 2 nuclear submarines right before Tisha B'Av and the Black Sabbath, which comes tomorrow. Seems to tie in just perfectly. In Montana, it started with law enforcement investigating a shooting at a small business in Montana. You can see the police entering the Owl Bar here. And it's turned into 4 dead. Not that we've ever seen that headline before. 4 dead again. 4 dead. The week started with 4 dead in a shooting on the 33rd floor in New York, and now 4 dead in Montana. And again, I'm being facetious. We see 4 dead all the time in these mass shooting stories. It's a very high percentage of the mass shootings are reported with 4 dead, and 4 is an occult number related to death. It's not an accident. I talk about how Trump loves to fire people on Fridays, and the reason that is there's more firings today. Today, Trump fires the statistics chief after a weak jobs report. He's blaming it on the statistician. Brooke Hogan, been offered a recording deal right after her father Hulk Hogan's death. And we'll take a look at that. Stands out that Hulk died on the 81st day of her age, and now this is the news on 8/1, August 1st. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting is shutting its doors. It's another 60 ritual for Trump, who just won. One with an asterisk, because we know these are selections, not elections. But in the history books, he won the 60th election. And then yesterday was the Feast of Ignatius of Loyola. It was Roddy Piper's death anniversary. I'm realizing I forgot to put my slide up here on Roddy Piper. We'll talk about Roddy Piper's passing, but on the anniversary of the Feast of the Ignatius of Loyola, usually a pretty fateful date, there were some suspicious deaths in the world, including a popular Italian rapper who dropped dead from a heart attack. And we'll talk more about it. Also, a popular Catholic priest on the world stage who created an organization called Youth Off the Streets. He also dropped dead yesterday. And again, on this very special date to the Jesuits, we'll talk more about that. And then if you missed the flooding on Ignatius of Loyola's death anniversary on the I-95 corridor, we'll recap that quickly too. I put out a video on that. Didn't get many views, unfortunately. It's funny how it'd just be easier to just do no-brainer content. It's so easy really to make money on YouTube if you don't put any effort into it. Just get on there, put the camera on you, show the news, sit back, say 5 words over the course of the news, and seemingly it's the route to a hit video. Spend all day doing research, over a decade of putting it together so you can present a very convincing case of what's actually going on in the world. Nobody cares. What a world we live in. But anyway, Justin Timberlake. Shout out to Roll With Me yesterday, who had this decode out before I could even get to it. I just wanted to add a little bit to it. Roll With Me caught right away yesterday. The Lyme disease news seemed to go with Justin Timberlake's Man of the Woods album, since typically when you get Lyme disease, it's from ticks in the woods, in tall grass. But from the anniversary of that album, again, to him getting the Lyme disease news going out on July 31st, it was 180 days, and Lyme disease does equal 180 in Gematria. Run it the small way, Lyme disease is 63, like Justin Timberlake. And I just took a further look at it, and I said, well, look at that. Lyme disease was discovered in 1981, and who was born in 1981? Well, Justin Timberlake was. So, go figure. And I'm almost surprised they didn't wait one more day and just do this on August 1st, but yeah. Yeah, very good observation by Roll With Me about the 180, and then, just 1981, just cherry on top. The nuclear submarines supposedly being deployed in this escalation with Russia. A number of things stand out here. But notice, 2 nuclear submarines has this gematria of 82. Tomorrow, August 2nd, 82, and keep in mind this news broke tonight. It was just hours from it being August 2nd in Moscow when this news broke. It's August 2nd already in Moscow now, at the time we're doing this stream. But we've had this date circled for a while, the weekend of Tisha B'Av, which falls on August 2nd and August 3rd. Again, in Gematria, Tisha B'Av equals 82. Black Sabbath equals 82. The first day at Tisha B'Av is the actual Black Sabbath. Ozzy Osbourne of Black Sabbath just died last week. 82 days from Aleister Crowley's birthday anniversary. Of course, he did the song Mr. Crowley, and Aleister Crowley died about the same time Israel was drawn up as a nation, and Israel was drawn up just before his death on 9/3 when Aleister Crowley worshipped number 93. Israel and what's going on with Russia and Ukraine are obviously related through Khazaria. Ancient Khazaria is where the Ashkenazi Jews come from, who mostly inhabit modern-day Israel. So, in light of Trump threatening Russia right before 8/2 with 2 nuclear submarines, it is quite interesting. And then the other thing that jumps out is the word submarine alone is 102, like Art of War, the Jesuit text. August 2nd is going to be 102 days before the Superior General's birthday. And that famous novel and movie, The Hunt for Red October, it equals 102. Tom Clancy novel. Again, Tom Clancy, Once Upon a Time, was born on April 12th, the 102nd day of the year. Tom Clancy also died on the anniversary of the publishing date of the book, The Hunt for Red October. But that movie has a lot to do with the U.S. and Russia and the Cold War. And some people feel like we're in a new Cold War. Those headlines have been written over the last few years with what's been going on with Russia and the back and forth posturing. August 2nd, it will be 153 days after the anniversary of the release of The Hunt for Red October. And of course, Jesuit Orders 153. So yeah, I did find this threat of nuclear warfare with Trump deploying the nuclear subs and coming right before this Tisha B'Av weekend we've been talking about. And realize it's 2 nuclear subs, right? Just like how Tisha B'Av is to remember the destruction of the 2 temples. And yeah, it's the timing is quite curious. As for the shooting in Montana, as per always, same old numbers. The establishment they're showing in the news that the police went into is the Owl Bar, and of course the owl's quite the symbol. But notice the gematria of the Owl Bar, 139 and 49, just like gun control. And remember, RFK, when he was assassinated, the nation's first major gun control legislation came 139 days later, and 10 days before his death, he gave a speech in Oregon about the need for gun control, largely in wake to MLK's assassination, which was earlier that year in 1968. The assault weapons ban in 94 was on the 13th of September. So, in addition to that, the governor, it looks like I forgot to put the screenshot up here, but the governor of Montana, born April 17th, which is the 107th day of the year. From his birthday on the 107th day of the year to this shooting is the 107th day of his age. And shooting equals 107. The ATF is on the scene, a federal organization. Today's 193 days after Trump's administration took office, which is the 44th prime number. I forgot to mention Secretary of Defense equals 193 with regards to Hegseth and talking about the deployment of the subs. Good day to have the Secretary of Defense up there. And don't forget that he took office at age 44. And don't forget that he was appointed on the Superior General's birthday, the leader of the Jesuits, but 193 44th prime. And today is a span of 44 days to the anniversary of the assault weapons ban, September 13th. Again, all these stories are drops in the bucket. And like I've always said, this younger generation that's coming up, and again, if you were a young child when Sandy Hook happened, you are now of voting age. This younger generation has been taught to really dislike guns and that something severely needs to be done about guns. And a lot of countries that used to have gun rights no longer have gun rights. I imagine at some point in the United States, this country will look a lot more like the European countries that have moved in that direction. Again, they've taken away gun rights. They've taken away speech rights. The same things are going on here in the U.S. It's just we're not as far along in the agenda yet, but it's clearly the way we are moving. And the United States is a big nation, a lot bigger than those European nations with a lot of guns, so it's also a larger task. But again, when by the time the children who are first graders, by the time the children who were first graders when Sandy Hook happened, by the time they're about my age, I suspect this country will look completely different, and that's about 20 years from now. The sheriff's office that's doing the reporting for this, the Granite County Sheriff's Office, 144 forwards and backwards like Jesuit order, today has 54 date numerology, also like Jesuit order. And from the state of Montana's birthday to today, 266 days like the Jesuit motto, E Sus Hominum Salvator. Remember, the first Jesuit pope was the 266th. Oh, I see. I did put the screenshot for the governor's birthday in here. I just put it in the wrong spot for some reason. Again, just 4 people dead. Same numbers over and over. And I'll continue to say, where's any proof that any of this is happening? Where's any proof that any of this happened today? It's possible it did, but if it is happening this way all the time, are these some kind of MK Ultra people that are told to go in and kill exactly 4 people and then surrender or off yourself? Because it's like the same story every time. 4 dead, shooter then disposed of himself. Over and over. Over and over. And over again. The fire, again, I've been talking about this since Trump's first administration. I predicted before he even became president that The Apprentice would do a lot of firings as the president. But almost all of the firings he's done since he became president the first time have been on Friday. And I will show this yet again. Friday equals 63. You're fired equals 63. And this Friday does have 54 date numerology as well. And Jesuit Trump, Jesuit educated, again, Jesuit orders also 144 and 54, like you're fired. Today's got the 54 date numerology. The woman who was fired, Erica L. McIntarfer, has that gematria like Donald Trump. Some things could be a coincidence, but the firing rituals on Friday certainly are not. And then TMZ, one of their top stories today is Brooke Hogan's getting back in the music business. And, I mean, is that not suspicious? Her dad's dead, and then all of a sudden... And in a way, from the entertainment perspective, it makes sense because there's just more thoughts and minds focused on the Hogan family after his passing. And, of course, him dying 10 years to the day of dropping the N-bomb, which had to do with his daughter, who's now getting back in the music business. But yeah, it does stand out that the daughter died on the 81st day of his age, and now on 8/1, this is the reporting. Brooke reconnected with her ex-boyfriend, Unique Barker, a record producer and son of the Sobe Entertainment founder, Cecil D. Barker. Unique was the boyfriend Hulk was referring to in the infamous leaked N-word tape. So that's how all this comes together. And today is 88 days after her birthday, born in 88. H is the 8th letter. HH is 88. That number is associated with white supremacy because of the whole Hail Hitler thing and, N-word. So just how all this, clearly comes together. But it being the 81st day of her age, we do call 81 the ritual number often. Ritual equals 81 forwards and backwards. Sources close to Brooke tell TMZ after Hulk passed away last week, Brooke reconnected with her ex-boyfriend Unique Barker, a record producer and son of the Sobe Entertainment founder. Unique was the boyfriend Hulk was referring to in the infamous leaked N-word tape. Brooke was once signed to Sobe, and we're told she has now re-signed to the label. Good news, since she has nearly an entire album recorded. And they show this image from March 7th, 07. She's 37 years old right now. Numbers. This Corporation for Public Broadcasting shutting down. Their sign is abbreviated CPB. And again, it's become tired with the 60 stuff with Trump. CPB 60, just like Donald Trump 60. The legal affairs was just 60, 60, 60, 60 minutes. Serving French fries on Kamala's 60th birthday just for the 60th election, etc., etc. But, we covered the trimming away of NPR and PBS by the numbers. And, so now we get this on 8/1, which is the day it was set to go into effect. And remember, President Trump has that 81 connection, as does you see how President Trump's 72 and 81? We'll come back to that 72. Remember, President Biden's the same thing. Jesuit Order 72. They're both Jesuit educated. In the 2020 election, Biden supposedly got 81 million votes, a record, beating Trump, even though there's no Biden signs anywhere. This Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the name of it, equals 359, which is the 72nd prime number. So this is the news on 8/1, when President Trump equals 72 and 81, and it's his decisions that are leading to this moment. So we're told. Puppet Trump, supposedly his decisions, but again, puppets don't really make decisions. And Italian rapper dead on this very important day to the Jesuits. They're saying he's dead from a heart attack. We just said Jesuit Order 72. Heart attack, of course, is 72. And his rap name, Jesto, 69, like the Jesuit Order. Ignatius of Loyola, again, it's his feast date on July 31st. His birthday, October 23rd, is the day leaving. 69 days left in the year. And apparently the shirt that he often wore when he performed, Troppo, also has that 69. So, and keep in mind, he was born in 84, this guy, right? Dead at 40. Jesuit 84. Jesuit Order 84. Oh, excuse me. It's the Jesuit Order that's 84. Ignatius of Loyola died 84 days from his birthday in 1556. Again, Society of Jesus 56, like Paris, France, where the Jesuits were formed. If anybody's trying to call in for the show, I will take calls here in a moment. Almost done. But it doesn't look to be an accident. And I was also going to say, when you spell out 40 as a word, it also equals 84. And we do spell 40 in that very strange way without a U. And remember, US is 40, United States is 40, USA is 40, United States of America is 40. The U.S. has had diplomatic relations with the Vatican since 84. Anthony Fauci, the Jesuit, became the head of NIH in 84, etc., etc. And just with regards to the feast date for Ignatius Loyola, prominent Catholic priest in the church died yesterday. He created the Youth Off the Streets program. You can see that program equals 231 and 87 in the base ciphers, just like Ignatius Loyola. It also has the 84, like the Jesuit Order, and his name, Chris Riley, 144, like Jesuit Order. Keep in mind, July 31st does leave 153 days left in the year. Again, Jesuit Order is 153, like Holy Bible, like the miraculous catch of 153 fish. And he did die at age 70. Vatican 70. The Septuagint was 70 chapters, which is something I need to do a lot more research on, but it's an original form of the Bible from the Greeks. So, and just with regards to the Jesuits, their original mission to stop the 95 Theses. Again, the first act of weather warfare admitted to on the Jesuit Order's birthday. Just the I-95 corridor horribly flooded yesterday. Weather control in the Jesuit Order, perfect overlap. Got that 69 like Ignatius was born on the day, leaving 69 days left in the year. Again, this flooding came on 83 date numerology when flood earth and Enlil are 83. And again, Enlil's the Babylonian god of flooding and storms. Genesis 8:3, where the biblical flood ends. But yeah, a lot of very destructive flooding. A lot of insurance claims, a lot of property damage. And remember, yesterday was 47 days after Trump's birthday. He's from Queens, New York, which got some of the worst of it yesterday. And silver iodine, the first cloud seeding experiment on the day leaving 47 days left in the year, conducted by General Electric with Bernard Vonnegut back in 1946. But silver, the 47th element on the periodic table, silver iodide does have silver in it. What are the odds that 47 days after Trump's birthday, this would land too, and his neighborhood would get some of the worst of it? So, drops in the bucket. I wish this recurring pattern with crazy weather, the recurring Jesuit fingerprints would help people see the forest for the trees. I don't know what it's going to take. Maybe when your house gets washed away, you'll come back and finally listen when it's too late. I just worry that's what it's going to be for a lot of people. And yeah, those are the main stories. It's Friday. It's always relatively a slow news day, but those are the things buzzing, at least as far as I can tell. And Inside the Race, HBO Max. Let me mute that. If you guys want to call in, you're welcome to. I got about 15 minutes for phone calls. It is the 509 number. 509-560-4982 is the number if you would like to phone in. And let me see what else is buzzing in the headlines. It's CNN. Here's... Look at this, man. God. I didn't realize... Okay. Okay. Do you see how they have to tell you it's a 60-year-old media giant? I missed that part, that the company was 60 years old. Just, isn't it unbelievable? It's just unbelievable. Donald Trump, 60. 60th election. Nonstop 60 rituals. And... yeah, that needs to be added to it. So I mean, there's always more, and sometimes I do miss the low-hanging fruit like that right there, but that just couldn't make it any more obvious. Five, 6-1.
Hey, how you doing, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Not much, man. Listen, I haven't been able to catch your show as often as I would like to. But I really did want to catch one of your lives, and I'm glad I did. But before hopefully you haven't went over this already. But if you have, my apologies. I caught your live when you were talking about the Superior General and it being August 2nd, how it was 102 days from his birthday. I think that's what you said.
It is. But, that is what I said.
So Shannon Sharp, if you don't mind if I talk about him and
yeah, go ahead.
Guys that got the number 82 in common.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. He's going through the whole thing with having to pay OnlyFans girl a lot of money. Okay.
Yeah. So when he popped up on the news, I noticed that it was his brother is going into the Hall of Fame on August 2nd, and as well as he wore the number 82 when he played for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, also what I found was interesting was the phrase rape charge equals 82 in Gematria. So I looked at all of that, and then I looked at Gilbert Arenas, who was born in 1982, who was in the news the same day for being arrested on some other BS. And then you have Kwame Brown, who was in the news talking about both of those guys, and his name equals 82 in Gematria. Huh. So I'm trying to piece together this 82. Can you please help me out?
Well, it could be very much in focus right now because of this Tisha B'Av Black Sabbath that does fall on tomorrow, 8/2, which will be the 666th day of the war in Israel. And you just said to have Ozzy dying a big 82 ritual. Loyola, as in Ignatius Loyola, that is an 82 word. I mean, you brought up the word game is 82. Also, you're bringing up athletes, and one of them pro basketball player. Where in the NBA they literally play an 82 game season, and we do know that these people do play games by the numbers every day. But yeah, I'd say it has something to do with how this year Tisha B'av and Black Sabbath, which both equal 82, fall on 8/2. So I'm gonna have to look more. I'm gonna have to look at the arena story, and I think you just said everything that makes so much sense with what they're doing with Shannon Sharp in light of his brother. You said it's Sterling Sharp that's going in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Sterling Sharp's going to the Hall of Fame on 8/2.
Yeah.
And just like I said, Shannon Sharp. I'm gonna tell you what else is funny is he had 62 total touchdowns. You gotta look at his gematria too. I wouldn't be surprised if they trying to set him up for a blood ritual because he got the 64 in his name. He got I think the 197. Which I think is the 46 prime, if I'm not mistaken, that sacrifice in gematria. I don't know, he got a lot of wicked numbers in his gematria that I kind of noticed. I just didn't touch on it too much because I didn't want to try to go too deep. But I was just trying to figure out what that 82 connection was. But just more so, and I've been trying to just practice doing more decoding as, news comes about and just try to do it on the spot, just like with the whole Rick Ross thing. He got spotted with that, I guess they say it was a man, I don't know. But I noticed he was born in 76, and then Ozzy Osbourne died later that day at 76 years old.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was a lot of 76s going on that day.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the 82, you've nailed it for what they're doing with Sharp. And again, the word game does equal 82, talking about these athletes. The Arenas thing, he's an NBA player, so 82 games there. I'd have to look more at what they did with him, but... Yeah.
Right.
I think you got it.
And one other question. I'm sorry to cut you off. Did you hear about the dude, Gary Glenn, who died 85 days before the NBA season? I'm sorry, I may have said his name wrong. But he was a player from Tulane, a player out of Tulane who got killed. He died. He's from Pompano Beach. But he died in a drowning similar to Malcolm Jamal Warner. And, I guess he had a friend or sister with him or whatever. But yeah, he died. No, basketball equals 85 in gematria.
Greg.
He died exactly 85 days from the NBA season.
Yeah, Greg Glenn. It says Greg Glenn the third.
Yeah, Greg Glenn the third.
Yeah.
I just wonder if you looked up on him and you might have seen anything else interesting on him. That's all.
I wasn't aware of the story. I'd have to look at it. I do see that. Hold on. Where did I just see the 34? Oh, they mentioned that he played 34 games. Again, murder and black both equal 34.
Murder.
See that one a lot. So
correct.
Yeah, they got to mention he's 6'7". 6'7" is that blood sacrifice number.
Right. So I can say as a result, me trying to really do it on the spot and practice more, I'm getting it a lot faster than what I did, in the past and the last time I spoke with you. Last time we talked, you went live about the Super Bowl. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look more into all these stories, though. I appreciate the heads up on all of them.
Yeah, look into them. It's too many of them, man. It's been too many. I got friends that tag me on Facebook and want me to decode it and stuff. And I send them to your page and give them, tell them about your books all the time. So
thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem, boss. But that's all I got, man. I'm making room for somebody else, man. You have a blessed day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Peace.
See you. And like I said, speaking of 82, I mean, the fire out here in Prosser, Washington was along I-82. Again, Prosser's where the new Saints coach is from. And the fire happened on the 25th day of his age, like fire's 25. What's up, Raymond?
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
How you doing?
Pretty good. Hey, just wanted to say, great video with the Occult rejects.
Thank you.
I thought the way you explained everything was really good. But I had a suggestion for a video style that you could maybe try with obviously everybody knows that AI is taking over, just regular everyday jobs or whatnot. But having the AI go in and actually decode stories on the fly. I don't know if that would be possible, but just kind of inputting the correct prompt into the AI knowledge that you have, and just having the AI look through the stories and find matching number sequences the way you do, but just having the AI do it. And then people might be like, well, if the AI says it's real, it must be real. You know what I mean?
It's a thought. I personally feel like we shouldn't use the AI. I feel like we shouldn't help support the system that's here to get rid of people. But
Oh no, I agree completely. But it's like one of those things that
I hear what you're saying. I hear there's always two sides to everything.
You
No, it's a thought. I mean, we could try it out one time, see what it does.
I just think people will be like, oh my God, the AI is saying that this is like actually connecting. Maybe there's something there. I don't know. That was a thought I had, but I won't keep you any longer, man. I appreciate all you do.
I appreciate that thought. Thank you. All right, take care.
Thank you.
This Sydney Sweeney thing, the thing that stands out to me about that is I know she's from Spokane, the actress that made it on, what was the HBO show that, I thought that show was weird when it was on HBO. The one, what was it called, Euphoria? That was high school kids, but lots of sex scenes in it with high school kids, and obviously the actors are above age, right? But like in the show, they're supposed to be like 16, and you're like watching naked, supposedly 16-year-old girls. I was like, something's wrong about this. In light of us living in a society where it's illegal for adults to have sex with 16-year-olds, but then they're portraying this in the show. Anyway, she was in that show. She's from Spokane, just like Ryan Sandberg, who died while this news story about Sydney Sweeney's so big. They're both from Spokane. What's up? What's up, Mr. 201 in LA?
Hey, speaking of The Walking Dead, yeah, there's 177 episodes.
Is there really? I didn't realize that yet.
Yeah, and then, I mean, they get real obvious with it in the later seasons. In like the church scenes, they got a church in one of their small communities, and there's a few shots, like pan shots, where they like focus in on the cross on the altar.
Well,
in the church, and they got the IHS on the cross.
In season 5, where they meet the pastor who sold out his congregation to save his own life, they go to the writing on the wall in his church over and over about being soaked in the blood of Christ, and you just Anyway, they show it over and over. I noticed. I'm in season 5 right now, but go ahead.
The whole entire show is all Catholic themes, but I'm saying, like, there's specific shots where they focus in on the cross that's sitting on the altar, and they have the IHS on the cross. And then there's another episode in season 11. I think it's episode 17. I know it's called Lockdown. There's one scene where there's this character Negan, and he reunites with this character Carol. I'm sure you know Carol. But she's staying in apartment 202, and when they open the door, it shows the apartment across the hallway, and then there's a massive 201 on the door.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah, and then, in regards to AI, I mean, that's just something that is going to be like, the more you resist it, like, the stronger it's going to get. Like you could try to use it to fight it, but that's just going to give it more fuel. Like what that guy was suggesting. Like, it is an idea, but it's not a good idea.
Wait, which is not a good idea? Resisting it or what? What are we saying?
No, I'm saying trying to use AI to fight the system.
You're saying you don't think that's a good idea?
Yeah, I don't think using AI to fight it is gonna benefit. I think it's just gonna help AI know how to fight it, how to fight us.
Well, my one taste of the AI is when somebody in the community showed me what the ChatGPT had to say about my work, it was quite favorable, and then I presented that in a video. I thought, this is really interesting how that it's quite favorable with my work. It says how powerful it could be if it was acknowledged by more people. And then within a number of days, it was like a whole new write-up, very critical of my work. And I thought, what? Just like that? Okay.
No, yeah, you definitely have to type the way the prompts are written out has it definitely matters. It's definitely a bias. The way you type the prompt determines how it answers it. But I've even asked ChatGPT to equal, and it's come up with one phrase, and then I'll be like, all right, come up with more, and then it'll give me other phrases that equal different things, and then it'll tell me it equals that number, like 201. and then I'll correct it, and it'll be like, oh, you're right, like that. It's wrong. So there's been times where it's been like totally wrong on just basic math.
Sure.
I mean, like,
sure.
but no, it's definitely gonna get better as time goes on. But I'm just saying, like, if we try to use it, that's just gonna help build it. I mean, like, we're building it by using it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. Yeah, that's all.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone.
See. That Sydney Sweeney ad, I just had to look up what day it released. It released on July 23rd, 25. The lesser date numerology that day was 55. 7 plus 23 plus 25, 55. You can see her name is 55. I'm sure you guys have noticed, you've been on social media, that seems to be what everyone's talking about and arguing about and has an opinion on. The American Eagle ad that shows her putting on a pair of jeans, and it says Sydney Sweeney has good genes, a play on good genetics, but jeans like the pants you wear. To me, it's just, we live in such an age where everyone is just so easily baited, and they're saying, oh, it's eugenics as they're promoting the white girl with the nice body. It's just, I mean, it's like, man, just the stuff people fight about. I mean, it is crazy. But maybe in a way I'd say they're baiting on purpose, because doesn't she have blonde hair and blue eyes? And so that reminds everybody of what we learned in slave school about Small Mustache Man, how he wanted an all-white society. He favored the blonde hair and blue eyes, even though that isn't what he had. But yeah, it is just, well, I guess the one other thing that's interesting about it, thinking about it in that regard, is it is just 2 days, or actually it's 3 days after the anniversary of Operation Paperclip, bringing the SS scientists over in 45. So that was 80 years ago. Yeah, it's just, again, probably one of the least important conversations people could be having right now. It'd be nice if the viral conversation was people acknowledging weather warfare. I better get off, you guys. It looks like somebody needs me, so we'll leave it there for now. Have a great rest of your day. And, oh, hold on. Shoot. I gotta say thank you to the super chatters real quick. Thank you again, Leper Messiah. You are just a regularly super generous person. I appreciate the big 5 again. Thank you, Delta 99ZZ. Actually, it's ZZ Delta 99ZZ for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Leslie Margarita, always with the generosity too. Thanks, Zach. Always appreciate everything you do. You're very welcome. Thank you, Leslie. And Dale. Dale, as generous as they come. Thank you again, Dale. Really appreciate it. And I do need to go get Sweet Girl, so... if you guys have any other stories that I missed, like a few callers ago who pointed out, the thing with Arenas and Shannon Sharp, leave a comment after the video. Don't write too much, though, because YouTube tends to delete longer comments unless they're trolling. But yeah, if you just want to say, hey, Zach, check out this story. I do appreciate the tips, because when I get time, I do like to look into things, so... Again, thank you for the generosity, and enjoy the rest of your day. If anything crazy happens between now and later, I will come back. But it could be a busy weekend with Tisha B'Av, and it being the 666th day of the war tomorrow, and then Sunday's 666 days after it began. So we'll see what happens. Till next time, Truth Seeker.